Good morning. An excellent set of choices yesterday for members of footballtradingprofit.com on Telegram. Let's take a look. The first one, a Wrexham penalty. Vulnerable, I would say. So I went to the match odds on this occasion, looked for a Saints win, leave a little bit on the draw to try to tempt you in to take the whole lot home with you. Braunschweig and Greuther Fürth. I provided members with a report yesterday on the newly promoted, newly relegated, those teams who were nearly promoted and nearly relegated last season. We've got Braunschweig nearly relegated last season and leading 2-1. Low liability, £9.62. Just trying to get that draw on board with a hope of pushing on for that £111.72. And if we get the 2-2, this is your first cash out opportunity. And remember, your profit is fixed or relative to your liability. You want more profit, you've got to take more risk. Okay, so that doesn't sound like much, but all relative to trying to target 3 figures a day. That's 13% of that target already. But we don't want to give you that, as Chris Tarrant would say. But we'll come back to that. Again, my report yesterday was superb. Le Mans, newly promoted, Guingamp, Le Mans were promoted to the league. Guingamp nearly promoted to French League 1. I think that presented extremely good value, didn't it? And look at the liability, keeping it as low as possible with an opportunity of at least 18 quid on the draw. And again, a chance at that juicy 3-figure return should Guingamp do the business. Coventry and Hull. Well, 3 points are available. That's why I got involved in the 93rd minute. I lay at odds of 1.09 and 1.06. Keeps the liability low. Let's get back to the Saints. 2 late goals, 90th minute plus. Bang. And you must cash out, even if it looks like it's over. You'll learn this in a second. Even if it looks over, get the bleep out of Dodge. Get your liability back in your bank. Guingamp and Le Mans, we've got a goal back for Guingamp. So again, profit at this stage relative to the risk. But there's 15 minutes to go for a side who were knocking on the door of promotion last season against a newly promoted side who might be vulnerable. 2-2. That's a far better profit. What I did here negated the loss. It's only 7 quid, but it's my 7 quid. They're not getting it if Le Mans happen to win. That's a decent return, but why not take the 18 quid and hope for the 103? Which indeed arrived. 3-2 to Le Mans. Now, cash the bleep out. Why? Let's take a look. Final score 3-3. So you'd have better have taken the hint there. What is the point staying in for an extra 4 quid? Hey? Never take anything for granted. That suggests the match is over. But no, you'd have lost a lot if you didn't cash out. For the sake of 4 quid, Barnsley and Burton. Time to take on Burton Albion. And Barnsley ended up winning 3-2. So some excellent choices yesterday. All about the correct choice of match. Moving on to today. And I'm going to be doing the same, trying to nail the quality over quantity. We've got a lot of matches, a lot of leagues, but let's focus on the ones which, well, immediately grab my attention. Austria Vienna, Wolfsberger, but we've got European involvement for a lot of teams today, and that's going to cloud their ability to play to their optimum. You saw with Copenhagen losing, Malmo losing, Rangers 1-1, red carded. Again, second consecutive match that dropped points because they're stuck in European club competition, distracting them. Manager must make changes at the weekend, like they did with Copenhagen. So that's why I've got this starred, odds-on favourite at home. Why have I got this one starred? La Louvière are newly promoted, so they could be vulnerable. They've already failed to score in the first 2 matches, and they're both defeats. Anderlecht involved in Europe. So that could be a little ropey today. You've seen the European sides yesterday failing to win. Quite a lot of them. So you've got to be very, very careful with these. Working our way down, Hashtag split again involved in Europe. 1.36. In Croatia, the odds on favourites have all delivered early on this season. So we'll see whether that pattern will continue at, well, maybe not. At 8 o'clock, I don't think I'll be up and about at 8 o'clock if you add 6 hours to that. Sparta Prague involved in Europe, I believe, as well. You can check that using H2H. And indeed, Conference League. And it's a 4-1, comfortable 4-1 lead. But still, you've got the concern that the manager will change the squad, particularly when they're such strong favourites. Okay? If you're 1.33, the manager's going to be thinking, we've got this one. I need to rest my key players. Midtjylland involved in Europe, coincidentally playing a side called Fred from Norway. So again, they're going to be distracted by that European competition. Similar story, Brøndby as well. But Brøndby are playing Vejle. I think that's the reason I got that one starred. Vejle are newly promoted. Leicester, newly relegated. Are they going to dominate? They've got to keep tabs on Southampton, who already got a win under their belts. Not expecting anything from the Owls today, the market. And they're expecting 3+ goals from Leicester. But you saw Southampton huff and puff yesterday. Very, very tough, very competitive league. Crystal Palace and Liverpool will not be entertaining at all. Might be worth a watch, but it's not a tradable match, is it? You know the reasons why. It's a friendly. It's not competitive. They're not quite got their competitive heads on just yet. It's not a bust-a-gut win, as Les Dennis would say. And in the Bundesliga, there's all sorts of reasons to get involved here today. Elversberg, we go to our report. You'll see Elversberg here. Near miss for promotion last season. That's why I've starred them here. Hertha Berlin and Karlsruhe. Well, let's have a look. No, but I starred this because Hertha Berlin, such a big side. They've got a massive capacity stadium. Holstein Kiel and Arminia Bielefeld. Holstein Kiel, relegated from the Bundesliga, could find this to their liking. They're playing a newly promoted side. I would always go with the side that's been relegated. Obviously, there's 2 league gap last season in quality of opponents, but 2.15 is a little bit lukewarm. Irish Premier Division St Pat's at 1.44. They did score 2 goals in the last match against Waterford, I believe, who they scored 2 against in head-to-heads. Is this going to be respite for them? They are involved in Europe, St Pat's, but they are woefully outplayed by Besiktas in Europe. Their European adventures are over. So this is an opportunity to, again, try and score 2 goals. They'll have to practice that because they're 3 goals down against Besiktas. Eredivisie looks excellent today. I don't think these sides are involved in Europe just yet. Ajax, I don't think. They'll be involved in the Champions League like Celtic a little bit later on down the line. AZ are in the Conference League and they've got a 3-0 lead against Vaduz. So, again, are we going to see managerial team changes? That's the cloud that hangs over these European ties. How many of them faltered? Rangers failing to win yesterday. Poulsen, who they're playing, failing to win yesterday. This could be an actual tactic to move on to the season. Lay odds on favourites when they're involved in Europe the next match. They drop down like flies. Regular members know this all too well. Even the big boys are dropping down like flies. We've had some results where Paris Saint-Germain failed to win, that kind of thing. Utrecht involved in Europe, as you know. AZ, normally full of goals, involved in Europe. Not yet for Ajax. PSV getting a comfortable enough win yesterday, so Ajax must keep tabs on them this season. I'm not going to be researching Norway or Sweden anymore. Suffice to say, Lillestrøm are unbeaten this season and will get my attention at 1:30 p.m, certainly for members. I also will focus on the odds on favourites in the Elite Serie A. Moving on down. Poland. Legia Warsaw catch the eye, 7:15. And in La Liga Portugal, Santa Clara are involved in Europe. Braga involved in Europe. So are they going to play to their optimum today? Let's test out that odds-on favourite before a European fixture. Let's see if Braga actually win today. SPL, Celtic, not involved in Europe just yet. 1-0 laboured performance against St Mirren opening day of the season. Away at the Dons. Could be a tough encounter for them. Dundee United, I think, involved in Europe, and this is going to be one of those distraction matches where they're highly likely to lose today because they've got a bigger prize to think about. A draw with Rapid Vienna, where I think they were actually leading. An extremely solid result, this one. 2-2s already. Falkirk kept coming from behind to equalise. Is that going to be the pattern for Dundee United this season? I think Hearts, at least last season, Hearts at odds on were extremely efficient. So they're certainly going to be on the radar. I think Dundee United are going to be vulnerable today with that Rapid Vienna match. They're such a small side relative that this match is of huge, huge importance for a club as small as that. Allsvenskan and Superettan going to get short shrift today. Hammarby at 1.62 going to be on my roster to follow. And in the Super League, Young Boys and Basel served it up last week, but the red card changed the whole match. But Basel were, I think, superb. Watch out for them today. Servette involved in Europe. So again, we've got trouble or concerns with them. Ayotspor, newly promoted last season, the Turkish Yorkshiremen. Watch out for them today. And that's it. I will be on hand for members of Football Trading Profits from, I would say, 12:30 for the beginning of the matches of interest for me. La Louvière, newly promoted. 12:30, I think, is a good starting point on Telegram only. So if you liked some of these greens, if I get it, or when I get it right, I get it right. 99 quid there, 76 quid there. When I get it right, I get it right. That's my purpose. I'll be working on that today for members. Might not be many trades because of the cloud of European football, but if I do spot something and it's as solid looking as this, where everything aligns, I'll pass it on. Have a great day. We've got a 14-day free trial, footballtradingprofits.com, 2025 offer. So have a look at that one. And we look forward to seeing you once the big guns are on board. Matches are going to be even more readable. It's going to be fascinating to see how Palace and Liverpool get on today. I would suspect if Palace are going to win, it should be a 1-0, something like that. Have a great day. I will see members of footballtradingprofits.com from 12:30 p.m. onwards.